So it looks like the video. Sorry about that. The video was running. I need to turn down my music. I do apologize. I like it loud for many reasons. It blocks out the ear ringing and my heart ticking and other sounds. So it should be more acceptable. This is chapter one of the, I guess, my diaries of CTE. It's for everybody to hear and listen to. So what I have to deal with. I just joined a recent group, and just as I thought, CTE is very much untreatable disease, but I'm meaning referring to just as I thought. There's a lot of people having problems with it in many diverse ways, not just, of course, my way. I didn't think my way was special anyways, but it's interesting to learn about all the others. So, CTE, for those that don't know, is called chronic traumatic encephalopathy. Now, I'm so tired of typing and texting because the holes in my brain, the four holes, have caused me to lose many things. Trains of thought. Um, see? Um, uh, yeah, my ex-wife would just like me hearing that one. We used to make fun of people talking like that all the time. Now I do it all the time. And I repeat myself more than I should. Um, Chronic traumatic encephalopathy is caused by trauma to the head. Your brain is the most protected part of the body, but is also the most um, you know the wording. I don't. This is the part of the problem. Is this part of my CTE problems? I'm forgetting keywords I used to know all the time. Forgetting spellings of keywords, and people want me to text and talk to them. I can't even pronounce anything anymore. I used to work hard as a little boy growing up as a kid, not to stutter. Um, I had many birth defects. My parents, my family don't know. Those birth defects were caused by Agent Orange. As I like to joke about it, I was born 8 years late and 2 months early. My brother's 8 years older than me, and I was born a preemie. I had my first open heart surgery of day one, second one age 5, 3 heart catheters before and after that. I can't tell you exact years. I just know it was in the 60s. I remember the lunar landing and whatnot, and in the hospital, Deaconess and whatnot, downtown Spokane in Washington State here. Um, the brain is susceptible to injuries. Yeah, there we go. Um, Very much so. Aaron Hernandez, who if some of you don't know or do know, he's a football player who ended up killing somebody. Then he got severe anger issues, and when he finally passed away, they took his brain and they opened it up, and it was like Swiss cheese. If you ever looked at your brain, there's no Swiss cheese. It's all intertwined muscular mass of electrons and neutrons buzzing by 1,000 light years a minute, second, whatever, nanoseconds. Uh, uh, wow. I used to speak so well, so eloquently. Speak eloquently. CTE's robbed me on so many things. Has it robbed my health in some ways? Some days when it's really bad, it's hard for me to eat. I've had to learn to try to keep an even keel. Meaning no anger, no negative emotions, and not too high up on the positive emotions. The roller coaster scale that I go through daily, I try to keep it like this as much as possible because I understand life. When my life used to be up and down, adrenaline high, sell. I was never a drug addict. I tried virtually all the drugs short of the needle. Why? When the military had fun with me, sticking me every 6 months, from age that I cannot remember till age 18, taking not enough blood out of one arm, then not enough out of another arm, and pneumonia, and too late. I don't do needles. I don't have a tattoo on my body. I have enough scars on my body, from chest scars to other scars right now, besides little Tigger scars, my newest kitten who decided to adopt me. And I'm a human climbing pole, and damn it, I took my vest off. I gotta put it back on here a little bit. Otherwise, thankfully, he's sleeping down on the floor mat underneath me, so that's why I'm looking down there to make sure. Uh, jeez. The stress that CTE does to somebody if you don't know that you have it or your loved one has it is really hard over a period of time. Because a lot of times people think, well, man, they just got anger issues. Well, yeah, what do you do? Everybody does. Not a single person in the world that does not have anger issues. So, is it intensified by CTE, or excuse me, hits, repeated hits to the head? Yes, without a doubt. If it's even more intensified if it hits the key hemispheres of your brain. I used to be able to look at the camera all day long, but I have to look down now. It's for me to be able to concentrate because I'm looking at myself on this camera. I want to be looking at my tie. I go, oh, God, I gotta fix that tie, or So I'm sorry, I'm looking down here at one spot instead of directly at you guys, and I never used to do that. Many people can tell you otherwise. This is part of the CTE, and I'm just start discovering. So I will try to more and more look in the camera, not just because I'm stoned. Yes, I'm stoned. Yes, I got to get high. I am a pot smoker virtually all my life, ever since age 11. A lot of times, at the beginning, was to get high. Later on, of course, now it's more than anything to control the pains, anything else, and of course, mainly control of the brain and the multiple tracks. When I was a thinking stoner, I made lots of money. Lots of money. Did I keep it all? Hell no, lost it all. Started over again, made money, lost it all again. Starting over now. And we'll see what happens. If I do, I do, I don't. I'm not worried about money. I'm worried about more important things. And there's got to be a better support system out there. How do you recognize that someone has CTE? How can it be fixed? Can science fix it now? Those are some of the questions I've already ran through my head. I've been thinking about this for years. Couldn't figure out why I was always angry. You know what? It was really frustrating because I know how this all affects everybody differently. I couldn't figure out why certain emotional moods, if I was just like too emotionally attached to a topic or a subject, and then it would be heart-breaking, choking a little bit in the mouth and trying not to tear up. Death in the family, personal one. Ooh, I can't do those. Never had one since a little kid. So just to let you know, I had two of these accidents, head traumas, excuse me, as a preteen. I lived in Medic Lake up to about 1978, in the summer of. One was a golf club behind the ear here, and you could do the calculations. I did roughly. It was about 120 miles an hour. I got hit in the back of the head because I stood too close, and put to the floor. Didn't lose any time, meaning none at all, but it shows up on my CT scans, and the four holes do. So that one's there. I have a bald spot, thus the long hair. I have a bald spot where the railroad spike hit, thus the long hair. It is growing back because slowly but surely, in some ways, because of eating all organic, non-bleached sugar, non-bleached salt, non-bleached flour. And see another problem with my CT. I'm jumping around the tracks. So I want to reach over and just take a bong hit so bad right now. Just not just relaxing, just the head. I can't explain it to people that haven't had this amount of head trauma. I've only been hit 4 times, but they were intensified. The other 2 times, see, now I remember, was here in Dayton, Washington, where I now moved back to after 40 years being gone. Excuse me, 41, something like that. After Dad kicked me out for not driving home drunk. So, they were here in the teenage years. One was taking the Datsun pickup, which I shouldn't have, and drove it probably about 4 or 5 miles outside of town, and did a hairpin turn, heading to this just for the hell of it, visiting some gal. Don't want to mention the name just for the sake of it, and rolled the pickup. Had to call the sheriff's department to get a ride back home. That was so awesome. Yeah, so that was not railroad spike, but of course, rolled the pickup. I got hit by a tire iron twice, thus causing later on I had to have neck surgery that was in 81-ish, 80, 81. And I had neck surgery here in 2008 when it was discovered I had a broken C2, C3 vertebrae, thus 4 screws and a plate in the neck, and nerve damage there. Now, jumping around backtracking and Agent Orange, I've had Agent Orange in the body all my life, thus the multiple birth defects I've had, and discovered by putting together many facts of what certain ailments have and certain things on the checklist that I have, and it kept on coming up more Agent Orange, then Parkinson's or this disease or that disease. I can't even tell you all the different ones, and I don't remember anymore. And that's the frustrating thing. A lot of things. It took me 4 years to remember certain things. I'm here in Dayton. Hey, do you remember so and so? No. Do you remember him? No. This building was there? No, it wasn't. It was there. It's frustrating. Do you remember this gal? Maybe. If there's a gal, good chances a guy is probably not. So it's just a male thing. Um, my first open heart surgery was day 1. Blood transfusion that day. My dad's blood. That was just me. Knocked it off. And sorry there. Didn't mean to kick the cat. Forgot I had the cat underneath the bed. Couch, table. Fuck. See, this is my left arm. This is my right arm. But the last 5, 10, 15 years, I call it the opposite. Very frustrating to me. Many things frustrating. So many things. Second open heart surgery. See, jump around. Jump. Oh, sorry. Song. The second open heart surgery was age 5. Like I said, lunar landing, roughly, and heart catheters by then. I went legally blind, meaning that I could not see out of either eyes. I had 2200 vision by age 6 months, and wearing thick football glasses ever since that time period. I'm going to have to change the music because the audience is screaming, and I lost my light for a second, so I do apologize. My mistake, my fault. I'm wanting something better to listen to so I can talk. And of course I screw up the light. Piece of crap light. There we go. Maybe I don't look the same, but hey, I'm still talking. I'm going on 12 minutes. I'll try to keep it to about a half hour. I do gotta change this fan, and so I'm gonna do a little Kid Rock here. Some of his stuff and mixture of songs and stuff I've liked over a period of time. So if it gets a little offensive, just warning you. A couple things too. To all adults, I may use cuss words. I may or may not smoke my pot in front of you. So if you don't want your kids to understand what CTE is and how to help cope and understand, deal with it, you may or may not want them to listen and watch. Okay? I will do my best to be professional. I'll do my best to watch my cuss words. But that's another thing too, is anymore I don't wear a suit and tie no more, and I'm not that altar boy no more, and I'm not in that world of the suit and tie altar boy world. So I cuss a lot, and I do apologize if it slips away. So just in advance. Seeing the doctors every 6 months, being legally blind, you'd hear the doctors say, "Good job, slugger. You're gonna live a long time." Then you sit there and tell your parents 6 to 10 feet behind you, or mostly your mom, because your dad's TDY overseas, and he's got 6 months to live. So I always figured that for 6 months, and here it is. I'm age 58. Last time a doctor told me I was going to live till age 28, and then my third open heart surgery was 1998. 1998, I had a St. Jude's valve installed. Now, the reason I'm telling you my medical history because it's all part of this bigger picture that I have to live with. Everybody's different. So, they put in St. Jude's valve. I tick like a Timex clock. I do a running joke. I am AKT, alive, kicking, and ticking. I had another one, and I'll give it to you in a minute when I remember it. Another nice little acronym. But here, anyways, when it was discovered, the 1998 when the St. Jude's went in, and I've been on morphine or blood thinners since 1998, or rat poison, basically, to keep me alive. It was also awesome. If my blood gets too thick or too thin, I kick the bucket. Either way, I might not make the hospital in time. Anyways, just joking with you. I can't. Anyways, life is constantly giving me obstacle after obstacle after obstacle, and I've overcome them all. Every one of them, from my stuttering to hiding the fact that I'm handicapped, from my classmates to my jobs to whatever else. So I became my own boss, my own franchise real estate publication, which was one. became 2, and then 3, and real estate crash. And I've always had to deal with anger issues. So it's really funny. It's my first marriage. I don't honestly recall arguing and yelling as much as this last one did. Last one, still TBD, I guess. And I'm not going to really much details, but I've had to step away a third time. I can't risk going to jail out of actions of either people. I'm not going into much more detail because it's just plain simple. None of your business, folks. Even though it's public record. Awesome thing. Anyways, um, anger issues. Did I have them as a child? I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I was more worried about the open heart surgeries and playing sports, and I was always in pain. You see, I'm not sure if that pain started. I do know roughly when it did was after me getting hit probably with the golf club that I quit going on the merry-go-rounds, Ferris wheels, driving in the passenger seat, Dramamine. I almost love to drive. Always, I have to. I can't stand being a passenger. And now I am a passenger. I gotta look to one area, otherwise I just get sick. It's been that way all my life. I'd rather be the driver, and I can't drive much longer. I'm afraid I'm gonna hurt somebody. Some days I have great days, no pains, no problems. I think I know the problems of that, solutions to that. Excuse me. But it's hard to maintain that mental state. You can't. You can't always be happy 24/7. You can't always be on the go 24/7. You can't always be on the jazz or the adrenaline rush I get from sales. Other people get their adrenaline rush off some drugs, whatever else. Mine was the sell, making money, selling, advertising. And you know what? Uh, I know that not many people, or if you ever did more than I did, and I know who they are. They know who they are. But the fact of the matter is most everybody else has yet not done and took a chance on themselves and believe themselves that they can overcome anything. That means the 3 open heart surgeries now. I opened up Southwest Washington's first traveling dispensary, and this is the first time publicly I've actually talked about it. A few people know about it in the last 10 years, and that was my second big venture into it. What was amazing was I opened it up legally in 2012. That was after the neck surgery. Huh. I had to have neck surgery in 2008. 2012 is when my boy, or excuse me, 2011 is when he turned 18. So I tell you that for a reason, for time frame. And I had to get time to repair and get rejuvenated, get up and going again. The neck spur from the tire iron rolling on the Datsun pickup back in Dayton in the 70s, 80s, excuse me, early 80s, cause and effect, not today, not next week, years later, like the CTE issues now. On 18 minutes. So, going through and looking back in my life, I realized that did I have anger issues? Well, certain things, yes, no doubt about it. I learned to control them in my first marriage, and after a while, well, we just had certain agreements and certain things we just didn't argue about. I can honestly say, if that's the way it happened, that's could be the way it happened. I don't remember anymore. Honestly, I don't remember a lot of things anymore. Somebody's got to remind me that I might remember. I mean, hell, I just remember something the other day from 40 years ago that somebody said. No, never mind. So, um, it's very frustrating. I can't keep a train of thought. It's very frustrating. The emotions, God. I don't know about everybody else with CTE has, but I cannot stand going from angry, crying, happy, happy, angry, crying, or whatever else, how fast 3 different emotions may be happening within nanoseconds of each other. Literally, just one minute you're like, okay. And all of a sudden you're angry, and all of a sudden you're just like, everything's like, you want to cry about it? I have never cried so much in the last 4, 5, 6, 7 months, ever since I had to leave the ex-wife because I was afraid. Very few things I'm afraid of anymore. I'm not afraid of what the doctor said. Hey, Alan, you're going to die, or excuse me, your son's going to die in 6 months, like they told me every 6 months as a kid, up to age 18. That's about 65 times. Now, let's see how smart you are. Every 6 months from the age of 5 to age 65, or excuse me, age 50. Okay, from age 5 to age 18, I was told 65 times I was going to die. I've said that now for the last 4 or 5 years. Has anybody taken the time to correct me yet? Get out your calculators. See if I'm right. I like to have fun and see how people are smart they are and how much they challenge the truth. Okay? So far, everything is 99% the truth. Let you figure out the rest of it because part of me is still trying to figure it too. And that's, what are we going to do with CTE? How can we help out? And that's a support. I'm going to tell you right now, I just joined one of the Facebook groups. See, another thing about, I mix words together. Not one and two like I used to. It's like 2 or 3 all become one. So, and I was reading some of these other folks' posts. And folks, what we need most that suffer from this, no matter how angry you may get, either you give them a couple minutes, cool down a little bit of time, or you take the chance, go in there, rush up to them and hug them, squeeze them. Tell them it's going to be okay. See, you're getting a run of emotions from me. I'm talking to you now. My drug of choice has always been adrenaline, talking type A. I'm extreme type A. I've had to tone it down because, like any other junkie, you hit your high and then you hit your bottom and it hurts. And I just came down for a little adrenaline and you saw me close my eyes and it was just, it was switching from one emotion to another. And this head. Figure out things that are my triggers. What are my triggers? Some are people, things they do, things they say. Some things you can't help. It's what it is. I can accept that. Love the head spikes. Starts in the temples, usually, sometimes in the base of the skull. You guys are getting to see the full effects, which one person for 30 years lived with, and for almost 30 years, so until only recently understands, hopefully even better. Because if I have anger issues, does that not mean that others do too, and they can't accept it? Anyways, or head trauma. Maybe not. Don't know. That persons, people around you've got to admit first and foremost that yeah, I have possible head trauma because I had this accident, that accident. Sometimes they're so small, don't matter. Sometimes they're so small, it does matter. In my case, I think they're all of them, but I was able to fight it out for so long. I can honestly say, for a CTE patient younger than me, I'm 58. Male or female, don't matter. I don't care who. Everybody gets head trauma. Almost everybody. Hopefully not everybody. I highly suggest you keep exercising your mind. Don't go zombie like I did last couple of years. And do not keep exercising the mind. I don't know what way I can recommend, whatever entices you, but don't get lost to the TV and become a zombie. Documentaries are good, yes, but you gotta exercise your mind in other ways. And right now, I'm actually gotta cut this short. I've gotta stop for a little bit. The brain is hurting. So end of chapter 1 for right now. 23, almost 24 minutes.